Hi all, it's Tim Bryan here. Um, I thought I'd give you an update on the property I bought last Friday, 69 Newford Crescent, post auction with Barnard Marcus. I think in the text I said all the costs involved, but maybe with 6 months finance, all other costs, my total outlay will be, I don't know, 170,000, just over, purchase price being 150. So on my way to work today to North Wales, where I work every other week, I stopped by the property, had a letter written ready to post to the letterbox and one to tape to the door in case I couldn't make contact with the tenants. But I knocked on the door, and the lady who lives there with her son and husband, she answered. Um, she knew it was being sort of auctioned off, and but didn't know if it had been sold. I explained the situation to her. She didn't invite me in. She obviously needed to verify who I was and wanted her husband to be there, and I can completely understand that. I was just pleased to chat to her. They seem like decent people. They talked about the history of the property. They've been renting there for the last 3 years. There's a few maintenance issues outstanding, but things like a leaking shower, back door leaks, a little bit of laminate's been raised, a leaking tap, but really nothing major, nothing that particularly worries me as a landlord myself. In fact, I suppose I was quite relieved. I had done some due diligence, or quite a lot of desktop due diligence on the property. So I'd looked at Street View, looked at the most recent photos. It all seemed nice and up together. I'd also seen that they've been paying the rent. I saw the assured short-hold tenancy in place, albeit it was redacted. I also saw they had attached in the legal pack the last three gas safety certificates, which covered the period of the tenancy, which I think you need that as a minimum if you're going to serve a Section 21. So I was feeling positive about it, or hoping that all the signs suggested that there was a decent tenant there, and there seems to be. They had questions like, am I going to raise the rent? What am I going to do? I mean, I've got some ideas, but I just said, look, I don't know yet. I'm still fact finding. It'd be good to sit down with yourselves, have a chat, see what it is you want really from this situation, and I can tell you what I'm thinking as well. So since I saw them today, they've messaged me, and I'm going to pop by on my way back from North Wales on Friday, and I'm going to meet them at the property and hopefully have a look round. I think it does need some decoration. There doesn't seem to be any big problem with anything. They said it's quite like the photos were in 3 years ago that I've seen when the property was advertised for rent. Obviously, I'll have to see if that checks out when I go there. But yeah, I'm relatively relieved. I mean, I spoke to Jay and Pia, or messaged them anyway, spoke to them, got some feedback, and both said that really for a property trader, I pay 25 grand too much. We take into account the unknowns, etc., the ability to sell it on quickly. It's not really a price that would attract a property trader. So I haven't really bought it at the right price to property trade. I'm the sort of person who's made a career really out of buying properties at auction, and then buy, refurbish, refinance them, and there's still lots of meat on the bone for me to make a profit, maybe leave 10% in the property when I refinance. But I need to go a level lower if I'm going to get a property at a very good discount that equates to what would be a property trade. There's someone like me would buy it at a high level. There's still meat on the bone, so probably not that successful. I'm kind of just pleased that there's still some profit in it, maybe 10, 20 grand, maybe a bit more. There's a few problems to solve with the tenants, but nothing that's insurmountable. So yeah, I'm going to meet with them on Friday. I'm going to listen to what they want. I'm going to have a think about what I'd like to do. But really, yes, I'd like to sell the property on, either ideally to another investor. I've spoken to Subs. He seems to have some contacts in his area that might be interested in buying the property from me. At this stage, I don't really need to make a lot of money. I'm probably going to have about 40 grand tied up in the property for 4 or 5 months, and to make maybe a 10 to 20 grand profit if I'm lucky, with a bit of outlays. And that's probably not the best use of that money. I'll be pleased with that, and I don't rely upon this for my income. But yes, as a property trader, I want to be channeling that money over. I don't want to get it tied up so long. I suppose on reflection, I shouldn't have bought it. I've always been a bit impulsive, and I figured I'm not going to lose money. But yeah, I need to sort of take my time in the future really and get my head around being a property trader. I'm sure 10 years down the line, if I keep the property or whatever I do with it, I'll be glad I got it. But it's yeah, a first step really. But I've got to get my head around getting it at a better discount so I can sell it on quicker to another auction. I mean, hopefully I can find someone to flip it with, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to go and see the property on Friday. I'm going to sit down with the tenants, see what they want to do. I know what I want to do really, but I've got to get them on board with whatever I'm doing. So I'll just take it from there, and I'll give you an update on Friday. Okay, well, yeah, hope you liked the video. Thought it would be a bit more informative than trying to type out a long message. Thanks very much. Bye.